This is the NBA Storyteller.
March. It's a month of the year. And why does it always seem like March? Always feels like it's March or it's about to be March. So this is what I want to talk about today. With each March comes insanity. So everything you're about to hear is based on my opinion, my feeling, and a little bit of research, just to convince people that I personally don't like college basketball and the main person who happens to be the face of college basketball. Let's begin.
This is strictly NBA here. Absolutely no college basketball here. I'm not interested in trying to glorify the purity of a game. While good players save it all for the NBA, and bad players with no future and good grades play major roles.
He was a valedictorian in high school.
3.9 GPA, wants to be a surgeon.
Oh, he gotta make that layup.
I'm not interested in ignoring all the missed layups that careen off the backboard because nobody knows how to vary their speed.
And we got the horrible, inconsistent calls by ref, all in the clutch, where it's not even about whether they're going to make the shot or miss the shot. It's a matter of whether the guy with the ball remembers which basket he's shooting on and how many timeouts are left and how many fouls are left and what the fuck is he doing out there? What sport is he playing?
Northwestern does have a timeout, and Fisher Davis fouls McIntosh.
He had no idea.
He had no idea. He actually just pointed to his head. I'm sorry, I didn't know what I was doing.
He thought either they were down, or he thought they had a foul to
This
get.
Drew cannot believe it. No one in the building can.
I mean, in this particular case where this guy fouls this guy, it's not even his fault. I mean, the coach should be yelling out there. They should be preparing. Listen, no fouls. Because really, he knows that this guy's a bit of a bonehead. This is not a case where we saw just one mistake this person's ever made. It's like when somebody gets caught cheating and they say, babe, no, it's the only time. Nope. Nobody gets caught the first time. Nobody gets caught the first and only time they do something. Just ask 60% of murderers. I mean, really, did you know that nearly 60% of murders go unsolved? And for the folks who get caught, it's just because they couldn't leave well enough alone. You just don't leave it alone. Anyway, back to this guy on the court. You gotta prep this guy. The reason you didn't prep this guy is because you yourself are probably overwhelmed as a coach. But this is not peak talent. Some of them are there because they have to be there. I mean, this is literally a required pass-through point for some. It's like 1 year of parole they were stuck with. And the other 3 quarters, they're there because the spot was available, because they love playing basketball at the Y, and there was a situation where they could come in and be the 12th man or the 11th man on the bench, or maybe you're the coach's son. This is like a Frankenstein of a basketball team that was never meant to be alive.
The monster created by a man they called Mad.
I'm supposed to care about that? And coaches milk the system for everything it's worth, with a fake-ass persona of giving a shit about these kids and prancing around like they're actually good at coaching. Can we just take a very quick account of the college coaches that have utterly failed? Utterly is an odd word. Have completely failed in the NBA. And no, it's not because of the personality management or ego management. It's because they are not good at coaching basketball. Of course, there's exceptions, and those exceptions sail through the system. So it's not a surprise when people like Shaka Smart or Brad Stevens' teams win a few games because they're good coaching basketball. And in a bigger sense, great coaches are supposed to become mythical. They're supposed to become legendary, like John Wooden. Red Auerbach. These old farts are legendary. But why? Because of all of the true stories and all of the ones that may not be true. The little anecdotes, situations, the one-liners, the great talks, and rousing motivational halftime speeches. These stories live on through disciples.
One story that describes your relationship with Red, which one would it be?
When Bob Cousy was a senior in college, and Red was the coach of the Celtics. And he did not draft Bob Cousy. And so the writers in Boston were outraged. So one of them walked to the Red and said, "You've insulted everybody in New England, and we're gonna run you out of town." And besides everything else, you're a Jew, and we don't like Jews either. I says to Red, well, how did you handle that? He says, I'll just outlive the bastards.
Okay. That was a grade A anecdote, topped with a warm chuckle, a good old Bill Russell chuckle. The chuckle just invites you, it begs you just to join in the laugh. The timing, the beats of the story, and in the story, the witty response. The fact that probably parts of it are made up or have been romanticized over the years. Yeah, I doubt anybody said to him, and you're a Jew. Well, back then they probably did say that to him, but I doubt they said it right to his face. Well, I don't know, maybe they did. Back then, they said a lot of things to people's faces. This old man, with all of his clout, demonstrated what a legend is. He summed it up in a snappy little anecdote. And any legend should have a few of these type of anecdotes and storytellers trailing them, celebrating their legacy. Okay, so now let's descend down to the other end of this case study, and that's where we find this guy.
Mike, Coach K, a legend in his own right.
Give us your best Coach K story.
So this is on the time we just lost to UConn. And we go back to Duke, and all this stuff is swirling about, hey, Corey is supposed to come out. Conference, and we're going to have the guys say you're not coming back. I just took off running. So I'm hiding in the assistant coach there, Johnny Dawkins and Steve O'Johnson. I don't even know why he didn't see me. I take off. EB say, hey, man, you got to go. Elton Brain, I was talking about a guy that I went to high school with. His name is Dave West. Okay. They said, no, boom. He's hiding under the bed. I said, hey, Coach, man, I don't know what's going on. If you go lower than that, you're going to lose money. So I was like, oh, okay. It's like, hey, Coach K was mad at you, the team. I know you're kind of, messed up right now that you're coming off of them terrible Clippers.
Wow.
I was like, all right. We ended up losing the next day after that.
But he looked out for you, even not holding grudge whatsoever.
No grudges whatsoever.
Out for you. That's what makes Coach K so good.
What was that? Okay, what was that? First of all, this was billed as your best Coach K story.
Give us your best Coach K story.
Which in the literal sense means every other story he has is worse than that one.
He's hiding under the bed, man.
Now I know we did edit it a bunch, but that was really just for time. The whole story that chronicles Corey Maggetti's visiting friends, hiding in closets, and playing for the worst team in the NBA just went on and on and on. But I left in all the Coach K references, including the punchline, which was...
Not holding grudge whatsoever.
No
He's
grudges
still looking out for you.
So he didn't hold it against you? He doesn't resent you? Now this could mean Corey Maggetti is just a horrendous storyteller, but I doubt that. This story was actually kind of interesting. It was a little thrilling. It was the story of Corey Maggetti. It just had little to do with Coach K. His rep is for the name of the school he coaches and the length of his career, and some god-awful pointless win total.
1,000 wins.
Which is basically, how old can you get without being senile enough to get fired?
I just happen to have coached a little bit longer.
Nobody cares about your wins, man. Your wife doesn't care about your wins. Nobody cares. Your kids don't care about your wins. They really don't care. Listen, I'm sure there's a kid out there who's had 1,000 victories in 2K. And I'm pretty sure more people give a shit about that than do your 1,000 wins. There is no evidence of an actual narrative where the lore shows up. Well, except for being an absolute dick. Sure, you may say it doesn't matter if he's a dick. Doesn't matter if he steals puppies. Doesn't matter if he steals organs from puppies. As long as they win. Well, no, that is my point. It's that you are a joke, Mike. Yeah, how about summoning the student paper to give them a piece of his mind after giving his team a B+. And here's what he said to the kids. He called their report card full of shit, and he continued to whine. I just wonder where your mindset is that you don't appreciate the kids in this locker room. I'm not looking for puff pieces or anything like that, but you're whacked out, and you do not appreciate what the fuck is going on. And it pisses me off. Get your head out of your ass and start looking out for what's actually happening. Okay. And here's an excerpt from a Bleacher Report. When Nick Collison was heavily recruited by Duke, he called Coach K to tell him he was going to go to Kansas. And Coach K was like, this is a quote from Collison, "I don't care. We got a commitment from Casey Sanders anyway." Oh, shit. Really? God, he's an asshole.
And even when he is participating in something that is mocking of him and what he's maybe known for, it's about him being out of touch.
Justice is served.
Hey, can you send Justice a text?
Sure, Poppy.
Just tell him he's jumping like crazy.
Why is he out of touch? Why? Why is he out of touch? Because he's a master play caller or strategist? Because he's an avid reader and bestower of ancient yet timeless theology? Does he hand out books to freshmen at the beginning of each season? No, that's not his thing. Does he smoke a cigar on the bench? Does he wear crazy suits? Does he have a saying? No. Nothing. He has nothing that makes him stand out. He is not the great motivator or artful speaker. He actually sounds quite whiny.
And with the one and done era, we don't have kids this long.
Put yourself in a position where we,
And for such a great coach, how the heck do you not know how to use Draymond Green? A 12, 9, and 8 guy? He doesn't even want to shoot, which you need on a team like Team USA. You need a pass-first guy, a scrappy rebounder, a solid finisher. What the heck was he doing on the bench? It's because he doesn't know how to use them. Was he just so overwhelmed with all the talent that he just didn't even try? Yeah, he didn't even want to try. Okay, and on that topic of Team USA, here's a little personal speculation. How's that team grown under his leadership? Early on, we did have the Redeem team. That was a bright spot, but it was also his first few years as part of that team. But since then, let's look at the caliber of team. Let's see how the team has grown. What it seems is that there's not that much eagerness to get on this team and be a part of it. And what there seems to be is a lot of excuses. When you're getting a lot of random excuses for people who don't want to come to your party, chances are it's probably you. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons, and they may not all have to do with Coach K, but there's a thread in here somewhere. There's something rotten in Denmark, as some guy said at one point. I mean, really, we've come to 2016 in the Olympics, and Harrison Barnes is on your roster, your 12-man roster, to represent the country. How does that happen? Who do you blame that on? And I mean, we will easily see how this all plays out as soon as Coach Popovich gets in there, and let's see how the team responds to that, and let's see who shows up for that. On top of all of this, there is no system or approach to the game that he specifically is known for. Really, what is the Shevchevsky method?
Well, I don't yell as much as I did when I was a younger coach.
We just said, Tyus, run high ball screen and be you. You know, that's great coaching, I guess.
Why does Coach K always have this type of player? Some cocky, unlikable white dude. It's like he needs to find a player that he can live through vicariously. It's like maybe his sons are too nice. His real sons are too nice. He's got to find some dick dipshit that reminds him of himself in his prime. Yep, that's him out there living his dream of tripping all those players. And to go even deeper about this failed athlete turned coach, how much does he love being in control and wildly praised by the best athletes in the world? And listen, I'm not even going into the whole weird racial dynamics here. We're not doing that here. We'll do it, trust me. And listen to this part.
The time during one of the first practices that LeBron turned his back on you while you were talking to him, what did you do versus what everybody thought you should have done?
First of all, I don't yell as much as I did when I was a younger coach, but in my younger days, or if someone said, what the hell are you doing? You know, it would be a huge confrontation. But they're not accustomed to looking at everybody all the time. You know, all I know is it wasn't what he normally did.
No, Kay. LeBron is used to looking people in the eye. I don't care what I thought of him or you thought of him. He's a respectable man, and he's used to looking people in the eye. Except he doesn't like looking people like you in the eye. But you know what? I bet he does not feel the need to look at a person he has no respect for in the eye. These people are in completely different worlds when it comes to accomplishments in basketball. And for him to think that he just deserves an inherent respect, he's demanding this inherent respect. People can't even tell a story about you without playfully calling you a jerk.
You played for Coach K. What is it about him? What's something that those of us who feel like we know him because we've seen him for so many years might not know about Coach K?
You might not know. You mean stuff he does? And
yeah.
Like, he gardens.
Oh, okay.
At least I'm told he gardens. I've never seen him do it.
Yeah.
It might actually be like basketball, where he just yells at the landscape crew and we ask them do it.
And see, that's why my anger, and genuine, like I care about this. That's why my anger is really directed towards the old man at the helm. He's a con man. At best, he's a pitch man. He's pushing the idea that this is pure, that it's untainted. No, Mike. It's not pure. It is tainted. By you. And for those poor souls, the poor coaches that were delusional enough to take the NBA offer and fail because they bought into the hype of being a genius or even a Hall of Fame coach, well, I do admire their complete lack of self-awareness. But with this scam whore, he is absolutely aware the emperor has no clothes, turning down 5 offers from NBA teams over the past decade, all of which were for more money than Duke could ever pay. He knows the fragile facade that allows him to be hailed as a genius, yet never having to prove it on the biggest stage. This is how you hustle a system. You are a miserable, underachieved athlete who found a way to leech on. He's like moss or mildew or mold. That's what this guy is. Mike, that's what he is. And listen, I'm not trying to condemn the entire sport. There are a few bright spots. But whenever the bright spots are the exception in something, you know the whole system smells. We're not talking about the pay. We're not talking about the stipends. We're not talking about the fact that kids can get in trouble for trying to sell a jersey or trying to make sure that their parents or their mom has a place to live and the electric bill is paid for. But again, this is not just about Coach K. We could do this for a lot of coaches.
Okay, so the point. Okay, no. College basketball here. But I may need to shit on this guy Mike occasionally, so please just let me have that. That's all I ask. Just let me have something, please. Shit!
Do you have to curse all the time on your little basketball show?
I don't know.
I am here trying to make enough dough to buy my wife a new couch.
Story!
Here we go, let the music take control.